Hey, good morning, good evening, good afternoon, good time wherever you're at. My name is EK, and today we're going to be going over the Festering Core Nightfall. What I'm going to be showing here is the Master Nightfall, but this video is meant to give you ideas and strategies on how to tackle a Grandmaster. Since the Grandmaster has not been out yet, this is how I go about it. If this doesn't help you, it happens. You may catch me live on twitch.tv/Ekuegan to maybe see this Grandmaster in live action, because that's what I do most of the time. We are nearing 850. We're currently at like 825 or something like that, which is awesome. I do like to thank you guys for coming in and entrusting your guardians in my hands in order to help you get that completion each week. Festering Core. What are the bases of Festering Core? What am I going to be using? What will be my team composition? What will I like to use here? What subclasses are going to be good? What subclasses aren't too good? What weapons will I be using? And what are some options that you can work with? If you come on my stream, you normally ask me, what is EK going to use? I am going to tell you for this week, Xenophage and Divinity is going to be the main thing. Now, you ask me why? Because we're going to be doing a lot of damage from distance. This Nightfall, one of the first questions that most people ask is, what are the burns in the Nightfall? This Nightfall is going to have Arc on Heartpiece. There's going to be taking captains, so they're going to have solar shields, and I believe Minotaur will also have solar shields. And you also have wizards, hive wizards that will have voice shields. So you have one of everything. Now the divinity person can basically kind of cover all the arc, where Xeno person can cover the solar. So if you want to, you can go with maybe a voice secondary for the person that's running a Xenophage. Why do I like Xeno here? I love Xeno here because there's still overload champions with retaliation. You still have the Minotaurs. Now, another good thing that you could probably use here is Anarchy. All right, Anarchy still does a great job when it comes down to a lot of these champions. But the thing is, Anarchy does not work well with Divinity, because you need to stick the Anarchy on before you tie you put the Divinity on to the champion, which just kind of makes it, it doesn't really, the synergy there does not work. All right, as you can see there, we saw a Minotaur, which is the overload champion. You're going to see that right away before you go through the portal. There's going to be a few different champions here. I believe the head count is about 18. As we go through this, I'm going to do my best to kind of break down what I'm thinking and where I'm going to be going. One of the most important things here to always look at is that you always want to take out the Cyclops, because they are going to be annoying. And as you can see here, as we walk in, there's a void wizard with a void shield right there to take out. And as soon as you work on this wizard and the wizard is down, the next best thing is to divinity that guy right there, that Cyclops. All right. Now, if you have mountaintops, instead of using Xenophage, you can save your ammo and use mountaintop when that guy gets divinity. You're gonna be running through a bunch of arc shields. Now, here's another cool thing that I was thinking about. If you're playing as a warlock, there's a few things that you can bring here to the table. You can either be a well-lock, meaning in certain situations you can place down your well and you guys can shred out, especially if you're using Phoenix Protocol. You can also run Chaos Reach, which will allow you, especially if you're running Geomags, which will allow you to kind of take out a lot of these champions. When you stagger them, Chaos Reach can take them out. When you, let's say the Divinity guy does not see the Cyclops right away, if the person running Geomags has their super, they can easily take that out. You can even have a team composition of having two warlocks, one running the well, one running chaos. Why? Because the guy running the well can also generate orbs for the guy running chaos, and if that guy gets to about 80-something%, he's good to go. Now, a cool thing to have on this fire team is going to be a void bottom tree hunter. Why? Because you can basically push the boss each wave with that super. And here's my thought cycle. Right, you get in the boss room, you push the boss with the first tether, a well gets dropped, Chaos Reach the Cyclops in the room, then focus on the champions after that, and with those orbs being made, that hunter should be really close to get his super back for the next time the boss comes back, and you're able to do the same thing by pushing the boss away again. In this area here, there are going to be 5 overloads. There's one here, right there. There's also going to be another one at the bottom here, as you can see right in front of me. So you want to basically tackle slowly the champions. You want to make sure you get rid of the small enemies around before you go after these champions, because the small enemies are usually the deadlier ones. All right, and I know that Bungie's probably going to have the effect where when you kill taking hobgoblins and taking thralls. They're gonna leave a thing on the ground that's gonna be smacking ammo around. When you get to this side here, one of the main focuses is to go after the platform on right. And this is where I mean the well can easily come in, or you can play the far back game where you can kind of take these ads out before you even get here. But if you decide to go well, don't forget that there's going to be a champion pushing you. Be ready to stagger that champion and take him out. All right. There's also going to be a lot of harpies and enemies trying to shoot you. And here's the thing, you don't have to take that play right away. You can actually chill up top, get rid of these enemies, then come down. Because when you come down here, you start this plate, the exploding enemies are going to come out. And once you get rid of these enemies and you shoot the two posts that you need to shoot, the little cubes, then you're gonna have to go to the next area. There's also snipers to worry about. So maybe instead of running mountaintop, have someone run a sniper. You can get rid of these goblins if you have to. There's also another champion at this plate. And this is what I meant about having 5 champions as you're coming on your way down. There are going to be a few champions for you to face here. All right. Once the plate is down, you get to take out those 2 things. You shoot your mid, everything, and you're good to go. Now, the next room is going to have a little more placement, right? It's going to be tricky too because there's going to be a Minotaur on the right side of this platform as well that you're going to have to go kill, especially if you want platinum, and you do not want to forget about that guy. But perfect example here, you walk in the room, first thing you want to take out is the Cyclops. Why do you want to take out the Cyclops? You don't want to get trapped by the Cyclops at all. You want to focus on him, get him out of the way, and then work on the small lads. And from this angle here, if a warlock has a wall, you place it down, you can basically clean this whole section out. There's also an overload champion in the next area. There's an overload minotaur, and there's also an overload hobgoblin. And you're not going to be able to see that goblin right away, but as soon as you get in the room, you can see it right there on the left side. So if you work on taking out that Cyclops, the next thing for you to do is to use the bottom of the stairs and take out that big guy up top. All right, right there, you divinity him. Now, are people gonna be like, oh man, EK, what about, Izanagi? Izanagi's great. Izanagi can work out. I personally think it needs more of a team comp in order for it to be like a better play. That's why I feel like with the amount of distance that you have and how you can play this, it is smarter to go with Xeno. Why Xeno? Because you don't have to worry about having a special finisher on. You can legitimately just have taken armaments on and be completely fine. Just to say this again, the overload hobgoblins are no joke. Why? Because of retaliation. You shoot them once, they shoot all these things that track you, and they're basically one-shots, right? So in this room, if you focus on Cyclops first, then overload champion on that left side, the hobgoblin, once you take him out, then you can then focus on the overload minotaur. And once you get rid of the overload minotaur, you can then look at the next champion that's right in front of you. And as a team, if you divinity that guy, it should be a quick kill. All right. Now, you might want to get rid of some of the extra ads around because they will be a pain in the ass in the future. So that's one of the things. But you, like in this video, as you see this, I am not going to get this close in the GM. I am not going to get this close in the GM at all. All right. From the back, we will work on this champion. And then after, I am going to work on the Cyclops. And as you can see here, that Cyclops is probably going to kill me because of the barrier. That is one of the most important things to get rid of, is the Cyclops. If you don't get rid of the Cyclops, it's going to be a long Nightfall. This Nightfall is already probably going to be like a 25 to 30 minute Nightfall. Okay, it's one of those things. Also, a lot of people asking, how does this fare up when it comes to damage and master to Grandmaster? Normally, if I divinity that guy and there's 2 people shooting Xeno, it's going to take us each 3 to 4 shots. And that is not bad at all. And this is what I was talking about. If you want a platinum run, there's going to be an overload champion here that you need to come over and kill. Now, do you need to come over and kill? No. Why? Because you're going to have the range that you need when you have divinity on him and you can Xeno him, which is another cool thing about having Xeno here. All right. And you don't have to worry about going across lasers or doing any extra thing. So far, we have faced a champion at the beginning, and then after going through the portal, there were 5 overloads on your way down. That makes it 6. Then You have 2 Minotaurs on the left side of this room with 2 Hobgoblins. Then there's 1 Minotaur on the right side. So that makes it 5 in this room, which makes it 11 so far. Okay. Now, as this happens here, if you want to take out the Blights, you can. I feel like once you get rid of champions, if there are enemies that are fighting and you think you go invis and go around them, sure, I wouldn't take any chances. I would personally just kill the enemies that are there so you don't have to worry about them at all. And like I said, void shields right there. The taken acolytes are going to have void shields. Taken captains are going to have solar shields. That's going to be something that you want to look into. And the next area, I believe we wiped. And it's kind of good to pay attention to this because failures also lead to success. And here's why. When I come down here, you can see that I did not focus on the Cyclops at all. I focused on that Minotaur at first, and then I went for the Cyclops. And here's the thing. There's two invisible Minotaurs here, but the most important thing is that Ogre eye. All right. So maybe one of the first things here's my motion set when I go into this again, right? Because I learned from my mistake here. Here's what I'm gonna do. When I get there, we're gonna focus on the Cyclops. As soon as the Cyclops dies, we're gonna stagger these 2 unstoppable champions, these Cabal guys, because they're not gonna push us, and we take out that Ogre. That Ogre eye, as you can see here, not only took me out, but it also took Gaiman out, right? Now we kind of have to do like this whole section kind of over again. Whereas if we didn't, right? If we didn't wipe there, this would have been a smoother run, right? So now I'm gonna move this up a little bit because I kind of want to move it forward. Now, another cool thing that you might be able to do here before I actually skip this whole thing, you might be able to go to the right side, right? Climb that up, kill that 1 Minotaur on that side, and then look through this room to kill the 4 champions. That means 2 Overload Hobgoblins and 2 Overload Minotaurs. But that's the thing. It's going to be very tricky because they're in like very funny spots. And what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to upload our very first run of the GM this week because I kind of wanted people to see how I ran it and not just how I talk about it as well. All right. So I'm going to fast forward to us getting back to the top of that room. We can see here that when I come back here, my first focus is still that Cyclops, right? I have a Minotaur to my left. He's dead. Cyclops is still the main objective. I do not want to be trapped here, right? Those 2 champions are going to push up. I can stun them. We're not worried that much because unstoppable champions don't get their life back, right? And this is why I also said it's nice to have an invisible hunter because that hunter can kind of get in and get out of things. And you can see that as soon as these guys go down, my main focus goes right back to that Cyclops. You have to take that Cyclops out, all right? Once the Cyclops is out of your way, you still have this Ogre in his eye. Maybe even like use cover so then you don't have to kind of face this Ogre, right? You can kind of work on the Cyclops, you can kind of work on the champions without having to face the Ogre right away. All right, so that's another 2 champions right there, 2 unstoppable. When we jump over, you can see that ads are going to spawn in. All right, there's going to be some scions, and those scions might be a pain if you don't take them out right away because they're going to multiply. And when you come to the second platform, there's going to be a yellow bar enemy here that you might want to take out before you even get close to this platform. So you might want to clear out mid before you come to this platform, because I feel like that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to clear out mid before I come to this platform. And when I do, I'm going to get rid of goblins. There's going to be an overload hobgoblin on the right side, right there. And basically, we're going to team them together, and boom, that guy's dead. I called out knights having solar shields. One of the main things is to make sure that you cover shields and that you try to kill as quick as possible, because there's going to be a lot of room for error. That means that like there's going to be times where things are going to be very aggressive, especially with taken enemies, and they're just their inconsistencies and how strong they are. Once you do that, if you didn't really take out the ads in mid yet, then you would. Once you take out the ads in mid, then you open up the next door and boom, you're in there. One of the main things that I want to focus on is going to how I am going to picture this, or what is going to go through my mind as I go through this, right? So now we're in that little section where you jump over from one plate to another. Watch out for the floors. They have the thing that kind of pushes you out as well. I recommend not going straight to the left sometimes here, because you might get pushed off by the thing on the wall there. This next area will have an unstoppable, so do not be surprised. There will be an unstoppable here. As a team, definitely coordinate to take out the Minotaurs right away, and then that unstoppable, get ready to just go ham on him as a team. Boom, he's out of the way. Now you can work on the next Minotaur, and don't forget there's going to be another champion. And why did I say go after the first champion right away and kill him? Because you don't want those two guys together, okay? One champion is bad enough. Two champions, it's not fun fighting two champions. All right, going into this, people also ask, what mods are you going to be running, EK? What do you think is going to be the most efficient? What are you going to be using? Here we are. All right, I'm going to have on Taken Repurposing. I will also have on Taken Armaments and Taken Barrier. Another cool thing about this is that if I have the space, I'm probably going to run Hive Barrier, because there's a lot of wizards, there's a lot of knights, there's a lot of thralls. I kind of want that when it comes to that mod slot, okay? On to the next area, which is resistance. I am going to be running 2 major resistance, 1 arc resistance, 1 concussive, and I feel like going through this strike, I see some solar, but I don't see that much, to a point that I'm probably going to run 2 concussives, 1 arc, and 2 major resists for this. All right, boss room. You walking in the boss room, you take your time. You take out the acolytes from around the blight. They're not going to respawn. You take out the acolytes from around the blight, all right? You don't want to go for the blight right away, because there's going to be 2 overload retaliation champions here, and they like to stick together, so this is going to be a pain in the butt, all right? So generally, you wouldn't see me do this and run at these guys. I am going to go to that pillar to the right of this blight, and we're going to focus on one, take it out, then focus on the next. Here's a key fact about these champions, these overload taking hobgoblins. They do not shoot swarms unless you shoot them, all right? If you shoot at them, that's when the swarms come out. So as long as you don't shoot one, they're not going to be swarming, all right? They might be shooting you, but they're not going to be swarming. And these are not the sniper ones either. So you just have to focus on that. And do not take out the blight right away. The first thing you want to do is get rid of all the ads before you take out the blight. And as you can see there, the super push the boss really quick. And my next best thing is to team up with my teammates. And I know most folks there's going to be a champion here. What do you do first, champion or Cyclops? If the champion pushes you, you take out the champion first, which is going to be an overload minotaur. Once that guy is dead, your next thing is going to be the Cyclops. You do not want to get trapped in this room. You do not want to get trapped in this room. All right. The Vex are going to be fine to Taken, so you have plenty of room to work with. As soon as you get rid of the champion, you can work on the Cyclops and you're good to go. Then you could go around the room and clean up on the small lads. And the thing is, you might want to do it as a team, because these guys are going to be deadly. There's going to be swarms. There's going to be goblins. And once the boss comes back out, even if the hunter doesn't have his tether, you can do the whole Divinity Izanagi if you're running that. But I feel like Divinity Xeno is a lot better for this occasion. Also, you definitely don't want to be next to the boss, which is why I don't recommend swording. If you're going to sword, then bring a bubble. And that's with if you're running Izanagi and if you really want to sword. It will work. Do not get me wrong. It's just one of those things where you're going to have to get up close and personal. All right. So here's the loadouts that I feel like will work in here really well. All right. You have the Divinity Izanagi with a sword that people are probably going to want to do because they feel like it's safe. And then you have the Divinity with Xeno. Here's a cool thing. When the boss basically goes and he does the whole ball thing again, This is the second phase, and there's going to be 3 champions that show up. There's going to be 2 unstoppable, they're going to be Cabal, and there's going to be 1 overload Minotaur. And guess what? As a team, we're going to let those guys fight. Our main focus is going to be, you guys know what I'm about to say, right? Yeah. Our main focus is going to be that guy that we just killed, the Cyclops. Once that happens, we are going to work on the ads on the outside, like the Knight and then the Cabal guy. Why do we want to do that? Because the champions are keeping each other busy at the moment. Like, right, what we're doing right now is because, you know, we know we're not going to die to these guys. But in the Grandmaster, I'm taking out the extra ads before I go after the champions. Why? It's because it leaves less room for error. All right? And there we are. We, you know, you take out the ads, then you focus on the champions. Whichever one you can kind of take out first. The Minotaur is definitely going to be the easier one to take out first because Divinity procs on them and you can do it really quick. Once that happens, then you can work on the 2 Cabal guys. But here's the thing. If you take out that overload, the boss comes back. So I recommend leaving the overload for maybe last if you can do it. If you can do it, leave the overload for last. Get rid of the 2 Cabal guys first. Once you get rid of the 2 Cabal, that's when you kill the 2 whatchamacallit. That's when you kill the overload Minotaur. Once you kill him, the boss comes back, and then you do damage, and that is it. All right. As a hunter, bottom tree void is freaking awesome. I'm probably gonna run an assassin cow when I play on my hunter. As a titan, bubble work out really well here. As a warlock, like I said, chaos reach with geomags will be awesome, and the well will be awesome. And in this room with that much chaos, you go in the room, you place the well, you can just like clean out the room as fast as you want, and then move on about it. So the team composition, I feel like that's, for me, that would be pretty smooth. Would be 2 warlocks, 1 run the well with Phoenix, 1 arc with chaos reach, and a hunter running bottom tree void with assassin cow. Thank you guys for watching my content. I appreciate all the comments. I appreciate you guys being intrigued and asking questions. It is pretty awesome. And before I go ahead and like finish this off, when it comes to overload weapons, hand cannons with explosive payload and time payload are just very consistent. Okay, so if maybe someone wants to run one of those with void and one of those with arc, and you know the Xeno kind of covers the rest. I just want to say thank you for you guys watching my content. I appreciate it. It means a lot to me. It's just awesome to see people like use the strats or like take the strat and like change it around and make it work for them. That really makes my day. So once again, thank you very much. I will be live at Reset. We're going to tackle this Nightfall, and if there's better strategy or something like that, I'm going to put out a video. I will be updating my Nocris video because I found a way better strategy on how to do the rooms and how to be more efficient for Nocris. So keep an eye out for that as well. And I'll see you guys on the next video, man. I appreciate you guys. I truly do. Thank you very much.